Good day, everyone, and welcome to the 100th episode of Erongo Talk. Today, we find ourselves in Walvis Bay, which is a little bit misty today, and specifically at the Mizpah Self Catering Accommodation. So, in today's episode of Erongo Talk, we have a very interesting interview with an entrepreneur as well as a very well-known person in the tourism industry, Heinrich Hafeni, who will be speaking about all matters pertaining to tourism. I'll also be bringing you the news as well as the weather and tides. So don't move an inch. We'll be back on the flip side. Welcome back. It is now time for our news. Starting with our first story. This is the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Adolf Kaure, who recently announced that the fishing situation and the quotas situation in Swakopmund. So he was quoted as saying that some of you are Johnny Walker specials and come to Namibia with nothing and become millionaires thanks to our natural resources, while our people suffer. So on top of that, you feel justified about the recently held quota auction and believe that this quota should be yours. So Kaure used the opportunity to accuse players in the fishing industry of feeling entitled to use the country's resources, even though they had received fishing quotas from the government for next to nothing. So he was further quoted as saying, Namibia's marine resources need not only benefit individuals or companies who are active in the sector or who have fishing rights, he said, and saying that all Namibians should benefit from this resource. And he now wants to address this negative mentality of entitlement in fishing. So during his ministerial address in Swakopmund, Kaure stated that the phrase, it is now our time to eat, which is commonly used in Africa. People would cheer when someone from the same tribe became the leader in a certain economic area and benefited from it economically. And this approach is dangerous because everyone else is excluded, he said. This means also the main reason for conflict in Africa is because of this kind of mentality. Therefore, in Namibia, the approach of common prosperity must be taken. So this is what Dr. Adolf Kaure said during this specific story. And in our second story, a groundbreaking ceremony for the low-cost units for 20 families of the Otwea informal settlement took place in Walvis Bay recently. So the initiative is driven by Standard Bank Namibia, with the beneficiaries being members of the Shack Dwellers Federation. And the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the 20 houses is the first phase in the construction of many more homes for the residents of Otwea. And speaking at the event, the regional manager of Standard Bank Namibia, Ronnie Einbeck, said the bank, under its Buy a Brick initiative, launched the Footprint Socks campaign to sell special design socks to raise funds for the construction of the houses. So all these proceeds generated from the scale of the Footprint Socks will go towards the construction of houses for residents of the Otwea informal settlement in Walvis Bay, he was quoted as saying. And we are restarting the journey to realize the dreams of families of Otwea for shelter, for restoring dignity and creating hope for a better tomorrow. It is our humble commitment to ensure that we continue to fight to provide decent shelter to our people, said Einbach. And our final story is a very positive and interesting story concerning COVID-19. And the good news is for everyone out there watching that is Erongo had no COVID-19 cases as reported yesterday. So the Minister of Health and Social Services, Dr. Kalumbi Shangula, announced 19 new cases of COVID-19 positive, and 160 recoveries. Of the 458 results received from the laboratories. So 14 of these were male, 5 were female, with ages varying from 8 until 65 years old. So the confirmed cases are from Oshakati, 8 of them, Windhoek 6, and Ononjokwe 5. So the minister also clarified measures relating to travel. He was quoted as saying, entry into Namibia is open for Namibian citizens, permanent residents, permit holders, and people domiciled in Namibia. So foreign nationals may enter Namibia for business, educational, health, and tourism purposes, subject to the public health measures. So non-Namibians are required to present on entry a negative SARS-CoV-2 PCR test result that is not older than 7 days, and all persons entering Namibia, with the exception of tourists, are subject to a 7-day quarantine at own cost unless exempted. So you can catch this story and more on our website on www.erongo.com.na. So that was the news. Do keep watching Erongo Talk.
Hey guys, I'm Cesar Pronk. I'm a Namibian karate athlete, and I enjoy watching Erongo Talk.
Joining us today is Heinrich Hafeni, who is quite well known at the coast, quite a well known businessman, and well known in the tourism industry. Hi Hafeni, how are you?
Hi Erin, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for creating the opportunity to talk to you.
That's no problem at all. So Hafeni, you have created quite a well known business, quite a strong business, internationally known, locally known. Can you tell us a little bit about where your business came from?
Oh, okay, my background, I was a safari guide in Africa. Obviously, prior to that, I worked in hotels in Swakopmund as a dishwasher, a waiter, and traveling in 14 countries. Gave me a platform to start my own, come back home and give back to my Namibia by becoming an entrepreneur and starting my township tourism business in Mondesa. And that's how Hafeni Africa Tourism was formed.
Yes. So when you are starting a business in the tourism industry, what do you do first? When you've decided, okay, this is what I want to do, I want to create a business, where do you start?
I think, where do you start? Many people, obviously, there are those who have ambition to become entrepreneurs. Obviously, it's part of their, purpose, and they start anyway without having any background of employment previously. But one of the best way to also start is that you, having worked in a hotel or working as a tour guide or having been in the industry itself, it's a good beginning for you to venture into a business, obviously, after you leave. So I always say that be the waiter, if you want to work at your own hotel one day, start washing dishes, and that's gives you confidence and propel you to the destination of your greater purpose of owning your own business. So I come from those ranks.
Mm-hmm. And then, what do you think makes a good entrepreneur?
A good entrepreneur, I think, somebody, a compassionate person, somebody who cares about service delivery of their community and their people, and respect. I think there's one word called compassionate. I think you are an instrument of great inspiration of a community, and then if you have the empathy about lifting people up, I think those are the ingredients, because when you're an entrepreneur and a catalyst of a greater change of society, and you create opportunities and you inspire a different generation and those who are not in your generation to become greater version of themselves as a result of the great work that you will be doing in developing a better society.
And then with creating your own business and starting a business, there's obviously quite a great aspect of leadership involved in leading your employees. So what do you think makes a good leader?
Yeah, and I think that's a good one, and I think what makes a great leader is, again, we mentioned that you care about lifting people up. You've got a, I think on a business front, obviously, it says that you create a lot of opportunities. The question is very broad. What makes a great leader? I think it's just that you are down to earth person. You're very humble. I think humble is one of the most, and you're very grounded, and you don't let what you become get to your head and become arrogant. I mean, arrogance in leadership is very horrible. I think a humble, somebody with a good heart, somebody, it's just a brave with an inner fortitude and a lot of love inside. And I say that you want to spread the love, and that love, lights up and ignites many other up. And as an instrument, as an entrepreneur, an instrument of greater success, you need to lead by example. You're a leader, and I think people have different views on what a good leader is, and I think that's about being humble, being grounded, having empathy, having a great vision. Without vision, and you're a leader, you obviously are doomed for failure. And obviously surrounding yourself as a good leader with great people around you, and especially COVID-19 came, and all I could say is that every great leader needs great people around them, and if we've never done that before, I mean, your greatness is a result of the people that you associate yourself with and positive environment. Yeah.
And then your company and your businesses obviously didn't sprout out of the ground yesterday or the day before. Do you think that business and entrepreneurship has changed since you started your businesses?
Of course, I think. I mean, I was just a new kid on the block in the business arena, and especially in the tourism industry, which many of young people from my communities were not much relevant, and as a result, with many other contemporaries of young entrepreneurs upcoming, we've seen, being groomed by great veteran entrepreneurs in the tourism industry. I think, it's like a fresh breath of fresh air to a new generation of young entrepreneurs in the country, and many others as a result of us being involved. They from diverse communities of our country continue to be. I think there's a change. We've been making good progress, and at the end of the day, it's never been easy. Obviously, as I said, I thank the mentors that have continued to shape me and add value to what I became today, and I think with that type of attitude and having a willingness to learn. And I think there will be change for those who want to succeed. They need to embrace a willingness to learn from others, embrace humanity, and we are all one. And through when we hold hands, like the president is saying, we can all become prosperous, and we can build this country. And especially with COVID-19 now, we've got a lot of work to do. We have to rebuild again, and it's not funny. And I even wrote it down on my social media. I said, it's not for the faint-hearted. Those who are in business, especially in the tourism and hospitality, it's going to be a long, rough road, and a lot of jobs, and many companies will not make it. But at the end of the day, obviously, that's a prayer, and we're hoping that the industry will regain its energy. And as we proceed, we need to be more innovative. Service delivery obviously would be key component of us to, have retained customers. It does not matter which community or what type of business you're doing. Service delivery will become the order of the day going forward. And embracing one another and working together and holding hands will be key. And obviously there's a difference, obviously, in terms of the business environment has changed. Access to funding remain one of the massive problems within our communities. But at the end of the day, it's not about the funding. It's about the idea. It's about the vision. And, as I said, it's all strong. Character, fortitude, vision, and hunger. That's what will make those who will survive will need to have those type of energy. Yeah.
And then lastly, in the business sector, there are certain trends. There are certain businesses that are popping up all over the place and then they disappear. What do you think makes a business that will last? What do you think is the secret to long-lived success of a business?
Again, I talked about the vision. You need to articulate the vision. Yeah. And because I can only say I want to get to the mountain. And that's the vision that I have. But the mission, how to get there, you need to associate yourself with the right people. Mm-hmm. You need to recruit the right team. Mm-hmm. You need to be able to make sure that they understand where you are going. And the moment that you don't do that, automatically your progression of where you want to go will be derailed because you have people that obviously will derail your energy, don't add value to you. And I think for success to materialize, it's again relooking at our organizations. We can have successful organizations, but it's the people we need to articulate strongly their visions, get the right people. And I think those who are looking for jobs just for the sake of a salary, obviously that's not what the institutions will want. We want those who add value to our organizations going forward. Obviously, we want to create jobs, and obviously, if everybody comes with a positive attitude to contribute to the growth of the institutions, we will all have jobs in this country. But the fact that you only have people that are looking for work, it makes it difficult for institutions. But anyway, it's not their not their fault. It's the business owner's fault because he's not articulated the vision, and then obviously recruiting your neighbors which is not a problem, but it's just that you need to recruit the right people that adds value, that think out of the box. And I think institutional growth will grow to the next level. And obviously you need support from government institutions. Without government support, entrepreneurial growth will be very difficult to achieve. There's a lot of small businesses. Obviously, they've been difficult for them to grow their business without. You need support. They need to have that discussion, that advocacy of how do we help small businesses, incentives to grow. And I think that we need to go back to the drawing board and create new opportunities where that I just know that government play a critical role to build an entrepreneurial society. And the private sector can do that, but with the intervention of government, it can go to the next level. And more jobs will be created and prosperous society can be built.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Hafeni. That was Heinrich Hafeni.
No, thank you very much, Irene. Thank you for Namibia's son, Erongo, and for the opportunity.
You're always welcome. Thank you, Hafeni.
ESB, this shit crazy. Yo, this is ESB and you're watching Erongo Talk.
Good day, viewers. My name is Archie Benjamin. I'm the CEO of Swakopmund Municipality. I would like to use this opportunity to congratulate Erongo Talk on broadcasting their 100th episode today. Erongo Talk is one of the most active social platform newspapers that are present at events all over the region, whether it's now in the informal settlements, whether it's official occasions, whether it's leisure events, and they are every day there reporting live on events. That's current information. That is very important for the community. I would like them to remain relevant and to remain current and to report timely and factual information as they've done and continue in the same spirit. I congratulate you on reaching your 100th episode and keep going.
Good day, viewers out there. My name is Herman Hosabe Honep. I'm the mayor of Walvis Bay. With excitement, I would like to congratulate Erongo Talk, who are having their 100th broadcasting episode today. Enjoy it, please. Bye-bye.
After 100 episodes, we want you to
keep on watching Erongo Talk.
It is now time for our tides and weather forecast. Starting with our tides, we had our first high tide at 6 o'clock this morning with our first low tide arriving. That was a few minutes ago at about 20 to 12. Our next high tide will arrive at about 7 minutes past 6 in the afternoon, with the last low tide being projected and forecasted at about 10 minutes past midnight tomorrow morning. The best fishing times for today will be at 4:30, between 4:30 and 5:30 this afternoon. So the weather temperatures for Walvis Bay today is 17 degrees Celsius with a wind direction of a west-southwesterly. So the sun rose at about 6:30 this morning, and it will set at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow's temperature for Walvis Bay will be 14 degrees with a maximum of 17 degrees Celsius. Swakopmund will have a wind direction coming from the west with a maximum temperature today forecasted at 16 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, the minimum temperature will be 13 degrees with a maximum of 16 degrees Celsius. Henties Bay expects a maximum temperature of 17 degrees Celsius today with a westerly wind direction. Tomorrow, the minimum temperature will be 14 degrees with a maximum of 16 degrees. Further inland, the sun rose today at about 6:30 and will set as well at 7 o'clock. The maximum temperature for Arandas is going to be 23 degrees Celsius today with a wind direction coming from the west. Tomorrow, the minimum will be 10 degrees Celsius with a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius. Usakos, wind direction will be southeasterly wind direction with a maximum temperature of 34 degrees Celsius in Usakos. Quite warm that side, and it will remain warm as well in Usakos as they expect a temperature of 33 degrees Celsius tomorrow for their maximum with a minimum of 9 degrees. Karibeb will also expect a wind direction of southwesterly direction with a maximum temperature of 33 degrees Celsius today. Minimum temperature for tomorrow is 10 degrees forecasted with a maximum of 34. Last but not the least, Omaruru will have a maximum temperature of 34 degrees Celsius today with a wind coming from the south. Minimum temperature will be 10 degrees tomorrow and a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. So, in this, our 100th episode of Erongo Talk, that was your weather and tides. And that brings us to the end of the 100th episode of Erongo Talk, our community, your news. It has been a pleasure having you in my company. So, as you all know, we also have all these stories that we have that I have read to you on our website on www.erongo.com.na, and you can find them and read them in more detail. And we also have we're also available, that is, on 3 social media platforms, namely Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter. So do go and like and do follow us on those platforms where we have plenty of followers that you can definitely make use of as a corporate. And for those of you who like things, you can also send us a WhatsApp on 0811 700 40. That is 0811 700 40. Do send us your news tips as well as your videos that you have recorded to that specific number. So, and if you're also willing to register a stall for the upcoming Namibia Tourism Expo that is going to be happening pretty soon, do make use of that number as well. That is 0811 700 40. Yes, and we also have the holiday supplement coming up pretty soon. Make sure that if you also want to advertise on that platform, to dial that specific number. So, since it's our 100th anniversary, or our 100th episode of Erongo Talk, we're going to knock off, or we're going to leave you in style. We have some non-alcoholic drink. Let me specify that this is not alcohol. It is just a lekker grape juice for us to enjoy. And we have a specific gentleman by the name of Ezra Wathuapwani, who is doing the recording, who's doing the behind-the-scenes work for us. and he is probably a face that you have not seen very often, and he's going to join us for this specific celebration, just to say a toast for the 100th episode of Erongo Talk. So here he comes. So this is for 100 episodes of Erongo Talk. Cheers. Some bubbly out there, flowing. Yeah. And like we said earlier, this is of course non-alcoholic drink. So happy 100th episode of Erongo Talk. See you again tomorrow for another episode of Erongo Talk. Cheers.